Welcome to my daily podcast challenge. In this today podcast, I have the topic of weather. So without any further ado, let's get to the main point. Okay, the first question. What is the weather in your country like? Well, so as you already know that Vietnam is a tropical country which is hot all year round. So unlike in some Western countries that people can experience the drizzle, the wind, and even the piercing cold, but in Vietnam we just know merely scorching weather. Of course, it's not extreme like some places like South Africa, having desert or that sort of thing, or people become dehydrated or dying in the 40-degree heat, but it's still harsh, especially in the summer. I have to admit that summer in my hometown can get unbearably hot and sometimes it's fatal as well. In my country, it's typical to have two distinct seasons, which is dry and wet. It's getting hotter. Winters used to be quite cold, but it gradually becomes milder. Probably because of the global warming, I guess so. Second question. What is your favorite season of the year? So it's autumn, hands down. The weather is mild, it's lovely, and it includes the temperate climate. So I consider it as a perfect transitional weather that allows me to dress well without any concern about the heat or the wind, the bluster, or the sort of thing. Also, the city is transformed in the autumn time, that the trees shed their leaves, everything turns into yellow. It's such a picturesque scenery, and it's a sight to behold, to be honest. The third question, does the weather ever affect what you do? So without a doubt, yeah. When the weather is unfavorable that I have to cancel or change my plan a lot, it's eternally distracting. For example, when it rains, I need to put off everything if I want to travel outdoor. It also really affects how I get around, and it's reluctant for me to travel in a rainy day or snowy as well. The weather also dictates what I wear. For example, in the hot weather, I tend to prefer breathable clothes and I layer up when the temperature is steep. For example, in the cold weather, I have a tendency to wear coats or jacket to keep myself warm. The final question, when was the last time that it rained particularly heavily in your country? So, well, there have been quite a few torrential rains in my hometown for as long as I can remember. So if my memory serves me right, that my mother once told me that it was around 1993 that it rained on days end. The streets became completely clogged up. Schools were cancelled, adults didn't have to go to work, supermarkets were packed with people stocking up on overpriced groceries because the weather forecast said that there weren't any signs that the rain was gonna stop. Worse still, the storm blew down the utility poles and it was hazardous and it really jeopardized our life at that time. So that is the end of